Hello, dear friend. This is your weekly astrology horoscope. We are going to start with the most important event of the month, Mercury turning retrograde. It begins on Monday, so literally on the 27th of September. Mercury turns retrograde in Libra and will be retrograde for the upcoming 3 weeks. During the whole time, Mercury will be only in the sign of Libra. So, first of all, it's not the end of the world. I know that sometimes we get over worried about those Mercury phases. They are normal. We have those 3 to 4 times each year. So, we handle with this, and I'm pretty sure we will do the same with this one as well. However, there are things that we should be more careful with. First of all, when it comes to communication, all kinds of plans, be careful with the timing, with your schedule, with promises that you have made. People tend to forget. There are more delays. There are cancellations and overall misunderstandings between people. When Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Libra, another thing which we may expect are also misunderstandings in the romantic area. Libra is the sign of love and relationships and balance and harmony, and all of that can be kind of shaken by Mercury retrograde. So it is not a good time to get married or even for a new date. Things could be different from what you are expecting. But on the positive side, you might meet with someone from your past, ex-partner or someone you have been interested in, or someone else who has been an important figure in your life. You can also restart projects or things that you have worked on, and you can complete them. Generally, Mercury retrograde is not beneficial for brand new important things that you hope to make long-lasting or permanent. If something is supposed to be temporary and it's not that important, of course, sometimes we just need to do things even when Mercury is retrograde. But if you are about to start a new job or if you want to start a new business, it's not recommended to do this while Mercury is retrograde. Another thing that may also be more problematic is technology. Very often there are issues with our computers, phones, emails, and internet connections, sometimes even banking systems and all kinds of other softwares may also have issues. So be prepared for this as well. And one of the more kind of personal things you can do for yourself is to work with your emotions. Letting go of emotions that have been holding you back. Emotions related to your past, which are no longer needed. You can heal them, you can let them go. And again, I want to remind you, life goes on. So Mercury is retrograde, but you may find also some very interesting ideas that may come up, ideas that you have forgotten about. So for inner work, inner explorations, Mercury retro is actually helpful. But Monday is especially accentuated because that is the day when Mercury shifts. So for Monday, I would recommend you to postpone or avoid anything important. Another thing that happens also on Monday is an aspect between Mars and Jupiter, which is challenging. And this can bring also some kind of frustration between our desires, the efforts that we are putting, and the results that we are achieving. From one side, this can make you more ambitious and motivated, but frankly, with Mercury retrograde, I wouldn't expect us to be very productive. Mars also has a creative aspect with Uranus, so things are not really hopeless, but you have to be more creative. You have to do things in a new way. You have to take different types of actions. And the moon being in Gemini, of course, accentuates Mercury retrograde even more because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. So in a way, communication can be important and yet somehow problematic. So for Monday, give yourself more time for everything, and if possible, try to avoid the more important activities. On Tuesday, the moon is still in Gemini and will have a trine with Mercury early in the morning. So things can be kind of better, even though Mercury is still quite slow. But if you want to do some short-term planning, perhaps for the week, or maybe have a conversation with someone, or maybe clarify or learn something, Tuesday morning would be a good time for this. And after 10 a.m., the moon will shift to Cancer. So we can become more emotional, more sensitive. Also, family and close people will play a more significant role in our daily life. And it's also a nice time if you need a little relaxation and if you want to slow things down. It's a nice time. Then on Wednesday, things look very different. First of all, we have a trine between the Sun and Saturn. And this is one of the most productive aspects. So we may feel more motivated to do something practical, something concrete, something business related. The day is especially beneficial for those things. You can find yourself more consistent and organized, and for business work, career projects, this is a very positive time. On the other side, there is also an amazing aspect between Venus and Neptune, also major positive one, which can really boost our creativity. It can help with relationships, with our personal life. So we rarely have such combinations. A very strong positive aspect, which is supportive for work and business and practical things, and at the same time, a strong and really positive aspect for personal life and emotional stuff. So Wednesday seems to be one of the greatest days of the week, basically for almost anything. On Thursday, Venus is having a square with Jupiter. So when it comes to emotional and relationship stuff, there could be some kind of frustration. We may need to reevaluate things, and we may feel like what we want personally doesn't match what someone else wants from us, or what society expects, or the culture, or the other people, the outer world. So you need to find the balance here. Another aspect also between the Sun and Jupiter, again, minor challenging aspect, also potentially bringing some frustration or something that doesn't match our expectations and desires. So overall, it may not be a very productive day in terms of our goals. We need to change them. We need to do something different. But there is some help coming from Uranus. Uranus has a nice aspect with the Sun. So there is the possibility that we can improvise. We can do something original, something more creative, something perhaps which we haven't done so far. So this is the better strategy. And the moon is in Cancer, which overall can make us more closed and introverted and focused on personal matters. And it is a nice time to really pay attention to those more personal things. Then we have the 1st of October, Friday. a brand new month, which comes with a challenging aspect between Mercury retrograde and Pluto. And this aspect can bring lots of fixations on some kind of ideas. We may obsess about something from the past or something that someone has said to us or something, which is not necessarily constructive. We might be also more paranoid or suspicious. There could be trust issues. There might be also some manipulations. So overall communication doesn't seem to be very harmonious and productive on Friday. Be careful with that, with documents, with contracts, with promises. Make sure to check everything so that there isn't anything hidden or anything which is kind of like not in your attention. Mercury, on the other side, has a minor positive aspect with Venus. So we may focus more on our relationships, on personal things. We can try to solve something there. And financially, things are kind of tricky. From one side, if we talk about big investments, big purchases, or managing other people's resources, that's Pluto. It's not a beneficial time, so you might want to avoid those projects. But for personal investments or small purchases, which is the Venus area, then they can be harmonious. So if you want to buy something small or a present or something which won't break the bank, the day can be positive. And the moon is already in Leo on Friday. Generally, this can boost the level of energy and motivation and passion and excitement. But keep in mind that when we have such a strong Pluto energy, combined also with the moon in Leo, we may tend to dramatize things more than necessary and take everything too personally. So that is the downside of this position. On Saturday, Venus has 3 aspects, which is quite rare. There is a major positive one with Pluto, which can bring more intense desires, more passion, more excitement, more motivation. It is a great one for business and for financial decisions, but even for our personal life, it can bring closeness. Interesting thing here that Pluto is also the ruler of Venus in this situation because Venus is in Scorpio. So this is a double, very positive connection. There is also an aspect between Venus and Saturn, which can help with some stability, with more clarity, with more consistency. We can get clearer on our desires, on our motivation, on our relationships. We can kind of like clarify things in our personal life. So this is a nice stabilizing energy. And there is one minor challenging aspect between Venus and the Sun, nothing to be worried about, but an aspect that can also make us take things too personally and accentuate more on the things that we don't like. The moon being in Leo can bring the passion, the desires. It is a nice time for a party or for having fun or for some kind of creative expression as well. And on Sunday, we have a beautiful aspect between Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury is retrograde, so the focus can be more on past ideas or plans, but perhaps we can have a bigger understanding or a deeper understanding of things. And it is a nice aspect for meeting with old friends or people from your past or making plans about your previous ideas. So it is a great aspect. Also, if you are learning, it's a great time to kind of like make a recap and go back through the material you have learned and kind of like process it on a deeper level. Mercury retrograde is great for processing knowledge and information on a deeper level. It's slower, but it's deeper. And the moon in Virgo can also help with organizing things, with being more productive. So if you have some practical tasks, you can get them done. So this is our weekly astrology overview for the upcoming week. Don't forget to sign up for email updates at marsstars.net. Check the links below for the different options for astrology courses and trainings, for personal readings, and also lots of free resources. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.